Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
Coming up, we are passing some serious time with some not so serious apps.
I'm glad you said that. Plus, too many or not too many, and what to do with that old iPad 3.
All that and absolutely no sexting on iPad today.
iPad Today is brought to you by GoToMyPC from Citrix. GoToMyPC connects you directly to your Office Mac or PC from any other computer or from your iPad or iPhone too. Sign up for a 30-day free trial today at GoToMyPC.com. Use the promo code iPad. And by Lantronix, maker of the XPrint server. Print from your iPad, iPhone, or any iOS device to virtually any printer. For more information, visit xprintserver.com/twit and enter the coupon code TWIT to receive free shipping on your order. And by the all-new Slingbox, which can turn your mobile device into a television. With the new Slingbox, you can watch high-def TV on your smartphone, laptop, or iPad anywhere there's an internet connection. Check it out at slingbox.com/twit. You're going to like today's show.
You're going to love the way it looks.
You're going to like, by the way, I have to admit, I'm starting on a bad note because I went over to get my lunch at the market and I forgot to ask for the senior discount.
You're not a senior.
Oh, yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I could see myself aging. Look at this shirt. I decided for today's show, I would dress as my age.
You're making such a big deal about that shirt. That's not an old man shirt. It's a plaid shirt with very fun checkers on the inside.
It is, actually.
A hint of checker.
I could hip it up.
See?
Chad showed me how to hip it up.
You're getting younger by the roll.
But I thought I'd dress my age today because we're going to do time wasters.
What does that have to do with your age?
Because I'm sitting on the porch wasting time. I'm going to show you all the games that old people played. That's me.
You know, we actually thought of this earlier this week because, in all seriousness, a lot of the people on the East Coast have had power issues and probably will for the better part of the next week.
Thank goodness their iPad still works.
Well, I mean,
for the next 10 hours.
Well, but a lot of people were like, I mean, at least the iPad is charged because on a fully charged iPad, you can get a lot done for a while.
That's true.
So,
that's true. 10 hours.
I mean, there is, well, I charge mine overnight, so it's usually charged first thing in the morning, but on a Sunday or something where I'm like, I'm just gonna watch some football, I'm gonna sit on the couch, I got some time, and I reach for the iPad, and it's like 100%. I'm like, yes.
Isn't that a nice feeling?
It really is.
It
makes me feel so happy.
Got a full tank of gas.
Got a full tank of gas.
Yeah, we're wearing sunglasses.
I'm just gonna chill for hours with this thing.
Yeah.
So, I've coined a new term.
What's that?
TGIC.
I saw that. Thank goodness it's charged. After you explained it, I figured that out all by myself.
I didn't actually tell you that.
No,
so
I didn't know. I looked
mind.
at it. You said today's apps, TGIC, and I thought I can't. But you set it up nicely, so I understand.
Well,
now
and
what
you were like,
about.
and you were like,
things
and then
to
you won
do.
a World Series.
Things to do with 100% iPad. Are you giddy with excitement over the World Series?
So giddy.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I did?
Some people who were watching the live show had to suffer through us watching them win the division series. Yeah. So they are aware that it was a big deal. And yes, I cried a little bit.
It was exciting. But, you know, I almost felt bad for the Tigers.
They swept them, and
So but one of the saddest things is the end of the baseball season for me. I love baseball.
Now
and when it's over,
it's basically like
a long stretch of football.
It's the day after Christmas for.
It is.
Bleh.
So you know what I did?
What?
I put Netflix on my fully charged iPad, and I fired up Ken Burns' Baseball, which is a great documentary about the history of baseball. It's wonderful.
Is there a lot of Ken Burns effects?
Yeah. Well, because it does go back to the 1850s where baseball was invented. It talks about, do you know where the Brooklyn Dodgers' real name is, where it came from? The Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers, because their fans dodged trolleys in Brooklyn to get to the game. That's why they were called the Dodgers.
But what were they called before they were dodging trolleys to get to the game?
There was no other name. They
were just called Brooklyn Baseball Team?
Yes.
No.
Base-ball.
No.
Yeah, in fact, originally it was called base or town ball, they called it sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I should watch this
You should watch it.
documentary.
You would love it. And there's pictures of people in the 1850s, and they talk about how it was developed over time, and it's just fabulous. Ken Burns does a great job. I loved his, you know, of course, the Civil War was the one that brought him to light. And all of these are on Netflix, but or Amazon streaming, too. So Civil War, jazz, World War II, and then he did one on baseball. It's wonderful. Many parts. I've just been through the first part, which is an hour and a half. There's more to come. It's like watching a baseball game. It just
I'm going to do that
never quite ends.
Instead of complaining that now I have to suffer through the NBA for the next million
well,
years.
because your boyfriend, I noticed this. I was a little disappointed in
he's
MG.
not. This is why he's not perfect.
He's
that
not
he's
perfect.
a Lakers fan, and
because
it's awful.
I noticed that the first thing he does, he gets on Path and says, "The Lakers."
You notice he's not doing that at home. You
better
go to
not.
the bar.
Yeah, he
you
went to
watch
some-
it
yeah.
away.
Yeah,
go
that's not
away.
okay.
Get
That's-
out of here.
that's
Scram.
not okay.
Beat it.
That's not okay.
Hey, so I'm not a child, but I was one once.
You was?
And if I had been a little kid and if there were iPads when I was a little kid, I
don't you
would have really liked this next app.
Don't you feel like those kids are so lucky? Like,
They're so
what would we
lucky.
have done if we'd had
Well,
an iPad?
and when I say when we say things like, you know, we didn't even have the internet, they'll just blank and say,
No, what's that
whatever,
even?
olden day lady.
They can't imagine what life was like without internet and full-time TV and on-demand. And you're old enough to probably remember this. You could only watch The Wizard of Oz once a year, right about this time of year at Thanksgiving.
Well, we illegally copied it on a Betamax
Oh, you had a
machine
tape machine.
that we rented
Okay,
from
so-
the video
so we
store.
didn't
So
have-
I watched it probably 5 times a week
that's good.
for 5 years.
Yeah, it was a great movie. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey,
My
so
daughter did too, but my era,
I know what you mean, though.
you could only watch it when it was on TV once a year.
Isn't that weird?
I know, it's so weird.
No wonder it's such a
but
classic.
what it did, it made it a big event. It was
Yeah.
really fun. So I hear something. What is that?
This is Toca Tailor. Ooh, sorry.
So this is a kid's game.
It's a kid's. It's not
This
really
is good.
a game.
You're gonna do the
actually.
kids stuff, and I'll do the old man stuff.
Exactly.
It'll be perfect.
We'll
cover
we're
the
equal
waterfront.
opportunity age employer. So this is it. This is actually there's
Hello.
more to it than meets the eye. Okay, so I'm going to show you something that I've already put together for a little dude.
So Toca's a tailor.
Yes, exactly. So,
So he
here's
sews
what I
clothes.
do. So this is
Oh, you got a little workshop back there.
yeah, so the idea is to not only dress my little dude,
Yeah.
but to get really creative about it. So, okay, so I'm going to go into the pants area. And it's going to go ahead and load up. So I've got some patterns that I can start with if I want to. Okay, you know, that's cool. Sure, you know, I can load them up, that sort of thing. But then I can get creative. So for example, if I hit the little Polaroid camera, I can say, based on what texture I'm taking a photo of, this happens to be the carpet, but it actually is kind of cool. Now,
Oh,
I
you
can
made that pants.
Yeah, so like that
That's tweety.
carpet now.
Very tweety.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right?
I do like that.
Yeah. So then if I hit the book here, it's like, okay, well, what's going to happen there? This is where I can load maybe a cool
Find
texture.
another pattern, yeah.
Actually, no, I'm not going to.
I kind of like that. That's neat.
It's kind of neat. If I move over to
I
the
admit
pants
I was
area-
skeptical until you showed me that.
No, it's cool. It's kind
is
of
neat.
it's fun. I mean, if you imagine like everyone knows.
Wow, window pants.
So this is, you can see like, oh, look, that was like a cool picture I think I took on Hipstamatic of my window. And so now I've got like these cool pants that look, I mean, that's very hip, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of becoming like a little designer. Now I can add a little flair. So I can go like, let's say the pants have like cool little star on that side type thing. So then when I go back,
That'll be comfortable.
now my little guy
He's gotta wear that.
has a little carpet
He's
sweater.
got carpet sweater and window pants. But wait a minute, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, now I can go like,
Oh, you turn the sweater into a dress.
yeah, or I can say, I don't really like that style of pants. How about skinny jeans?
Oh.
You know, and maybe it's kind of hot, so the sleeves should go up.
Oh, this is kind of cool.
It's kind of fun. And then, you know, if you keep those little funny things. Ah!
Boy, I could see a kid who maybe never would have considered being a designer kind of say, this is really neat.
Oh,
I gotta
I'm
show
so
Abby this.
fashionable.
Yeah, she would love. So they've got accessories and that little slider.
I think this is absolutely adorable. I mean, like I said, not a kid, but I enjoy this. I think this is really cute. And if you have a kid and they're just going to be, you know, sitting on an iPad playing a bunch of games, this is a great.
I love this.
Yeah, it's like, and the thing is like, okay, so let's say you're happy with it. You know, your kid, your niece, whoever you're babysitting is very happy. You could go ahead and save this, save the shot. Just took a picture, or you could take a picture where Leo and his new friend. Look.
Oh.
Look, it's the little angel on Leo's shoulder.
On my shoulder.
Yeah, he was blinking. Isn't that always the way when you take a photo?
That's because I'm about to kiss him.
Well, okay, that's not really where I was going with that, but. And then you kind of get the idea.
You know, Toca also.
And then you have a bunch of different characters. Like I could dress up a little lion lady.
Did you know they also have a hair salon?
No,
Toca
I did not.
Hair Salon, yeah. So they not only, you could do the same thing with somebody's hair.
That's awesome.
This is the Christmas version.
She's got a short skirt. Whoa.
She also has very hairy legs. Oh no, she's a kitty cat.
She's a kitty cat. She's a furry lady. Whoa, oh my goodness. Whoa, Minnie, hello, Ultra Minnie. That's it. It's 99 cents. I think it's really cute. It's actually featured in the App Store right now, which is where I found it. And at first I thought, it's for little kids, but I actually think this is fun for all ages. It's, for creative types, people who like to put stuff together. And, if you want to be on Project Runway one day, this is a very good place to.
You could do the same thing. They have Toca Hair Salon, and there's a Christmas version that's for free, so you can make do Santa's hair.
Ho, ho, ho.
You can cut his. This must be a whole series of stuff.
Yeah, of kind of DIY,
I love
crafty stuff. Yeah.
We used to play paper dolls.
Oh my goodness. You got the blow dryer tool. Poor Santa. Santa's gone Bieber.
I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you don't need to do that. You've got it selected. Now you just cut.
Now what do you do? Oh, I'm going to glue on a mustache.
Extensions?
I don't know what I'm doing, but it's.
I don't know what you're doing either. You've gone rogue.
Oh, there you go.
Santa's like, dude, this is my thing. Don't take it off.
This is fun. Okay, Toca. There's a whole series of these.
Yeah. So Toca Tailor, and what's the name of yours?
Toca. I gotta shave Santa's head, Toca.
Oh, Santa. He didn't ask for this,
That is called Hair Christmas.
Hair Christmas.
It can't be right. It's just I searched for Toca and I found a whole bunch of things. TOCA.
It's not called Hair Christmas.
It's called Toca Hair Salon Christmas Gift.
Fun. Okay. Well, I guess we're already talking about Christmas gifts.
Well, I think this is probably from last year.
Day after Halloween.
But it's free, and that's kind of one of the reasons why you might want to do this. Cut, shave, and grow Santa's hair.
Do you want to talk about...
I will do something. Is it my turn?
Oh, I guess it is. Sure. You go ahead. That sounded really weird, but no, I mean it. Go ahead.
I came up with some things. You asked me to. So
I would like you to show them to me now.
I came up with some stuff that's time killers.
You are holding the golden baton.
When you're old...
And gray.
Your
knees
and you're wearing plaid.
A lot.
The thing that most concerns you is you want to keep your mind active, right? So you like to do crossword puzzles and Sudoku puzzles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of those, Tetris. I have a couple of those that I like. The original Sudoku that I really loved no longer works with iOS 6.
Why not?
The guy kind of abandoned it. Oh. So I found another one, Sudoku 2. They have a paid and unpaid version. And it looks pretty good. It looks as much fun. So Sudoku is a number problem, and this is the most popular Sudoku on the market. So I'll just mention that. That's Sudoku 2 HD. And then I also really like crossword puzzles, and the puzzles that I do, it's just called crosswords. There are many crosswords, but what I like about this, you can, if you have a subscription to other crossword puzzles. Like the New York Times or paid crossword puzzles, you can use those. But there's a free New York Times classic every day. So you can do a daily puzzle or a Sunday puzzle. And the interface is just fantastic. You get to across, down. It's very easy to just type in. Its capital is Santiago. I would say that's C-H-I-L-E.
Chile!
Chile, except I didn't do it right.
No.
I got to start at the top.
Yeah.
Its capital is Santiago. So I like crossword puzzles, another great way to kind of keep your brain sharp. But let me show you something that's actually designed to do that. Now, this is an iPhone game, but it works just fine. It's free from a company called Lumosity.com. And their goal is to get you to get a Lumosity account so that you will keep track of your training. Now, I want a little disclaimer here. They are an advertiser on one of my radio stations on KFI in Los Angeles. But they've been around for a while, and I've been actually, I'm not logged into my account. I am on the iPhone. But the idea is there's different games that are specifically designed by neuroscientists to develop your mind. And some of them are really tough. We'll just start with the shapes game just to give you an idea. So the idea is...
Look at this symbol.
This seems simple, right?
It does. It's a purple square.
Does that match the last one?
No.
No match. No match. No match. 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 No match. No match. It looks simple. It gets faster and faster and harder and harder. And the idea is it's integrating a number of different skills.
How is it getting faster when you're the one who has to
Well, the idea
advance?
is you're competing against yourself and your previous score.
Oh, I see. Oh, got it.
So you actually
you want to get faster.
You want to get better, and if you're going to get better, and then also you go, oh, wait, oh, yeah.
And then you're like, oh my God, I do remember.
Now this seems simple, but it's actually very fun, and it has a purpose. You actually get develop your brain skills. In this case,
Does this keep you from drooling? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, baby. No, actually, it's not working. So you can also read your profile. You can see your overall score. You can see what the different games are. You can see there are quite a few. And then the science behind what they're teaching you, what games they're using, and why you're playing those games. This is a tough one, but I really enjoy this one. Next game is called Memory Matrix. Now it starts simple and it gets harder. So it's going to show me a pattern. Can you remember that? Sure you can.
Yeah.
It's that was easy. All right, let's do another one. Yep. So, oh, wait a minute. Now there's more of them. Okay.
Ooh, this is fun already.
But you see, it's very simple. But what I like about it is it's fairly fun. But at the same time, you really are learning new skills. There's one where you're trying to do bird watching while you're trying to spell birds' names and things. And
oh, you're pretty good at this.
It's getting hard. Well, I've been doing it for some years. I actually started playing these about 4 years ago. And that's why my brain is so good. So now it gets really hard. Okay, and we got eight. Whoa.
Ho. I already forget.
Ho.
No, you're pretty good.
Oh, this is getting hard. Anyway, you get the idea.
Yeah, I know.
This is free to play. Lumosity. I didn't see that when I was talking to you, but I like it. And it's the idea of it is not just that it's kind of some dumb game, but that you're developing, because you do crossword puzzles as one part of your brain. You do Sudoku, that's another part. But they do cross training. It's like brain cross training. So you develop different parts of your brain.
It's free too.
Pattern matching, speed, reflex.
Cost anything.
Yep.
Just stay
You know
alert.
what's the funnest one? Let me show you the funnest one. It's really
Show me the
hard.
funnest.
It's hard, surprisingly hard. Okay. They're going to show me. They're going to say, okay, is there a match between the meaning of this and the color of that? Yes. This is surprisingly hard.
Wait a second.
So
Hold
it
on.
says black. Is that word black?
Well, there's a rap song called Black and Yellow,
Black and Yellow, Black and
so
Yellow.
I would say yes.
But
there's
no
a
match.
Well,
yellow,
I mean,
is that red word yellow? No, there's no match. But is that black word red? Yes, there's a match.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
I thought you meant, is there some sort of
No,
a
but this is what's hard. So what it's doing is
It's tricking
one
you.
part of your brain reads the word black, the other part, another part of your brain sees the color red.
Yeah.
And the question is, can you meld those two, the left and the right brain, to read yellow, see yellow?
Yes.
It's very hard. This is surprisingly hard.
Well, if you're going quickly, I bet.
Yeah, and that notice.
If you think about it, of course.
They
you
measure
know.
your reaction time and how many correct and accuracy. So you're going for speed and accuracy. I don't know. Free, try it. What the hell?
What the hell?
I don't know if it makes you smarter. I noticed that in their ads, they used to say makes you smarter. Now they say makes you sharper.
Well, that's good.
I think probably.
Oh, Grandpa Leo, he's so sharp.
It probably can't make you smarter. You're kind of stuck with what you are. But it can keep you from getting dumber.
But that's not, if you read a lot, your vocabulary's better. I think that applies to feeling smarter.
I believe that your brain
smarter.
is like, my brain is a muscle, but it's like a muscle that if you don't exercise it, it will just kind of fade away. And so it's really important as you get older, even if you're a young woman, but now would be a good time to start so that you don't end up like me.
That's why I take the omega-3s, because I'm trying to remember
Oh,
stuff.
sure, you could find it in a pill.
It's not a...
It's much easier to take a pill that do the work.
No, my point is,
you take
memory
vitamins,
is very important.
You take vitamins, but you go to the gym, right?
Yes.
This is going to the gym.
Yeah. For your mind.
For your mind.
For your muscle, your brain muscle.
It's free, but again, they're going to want you to sign up for a paid subscription on the site so that you can keep track of your performance.
All right, well, you've got options.
It's not real expensive.
So speaking of smarter, is there anything that makes you feel smarter than when you beat a good friend at Letterpress?
Oh, this game has occupied people's... Now, you're going to have to help me.
Am I?
Yeah. Lauren Brichter wrote this. He's a guy who wrote TWiT. And,
I talked about this on i5 this week, by the way, but it is a universal app, so it's fair game, and it's a pretty big deal right now, so I think it's worth
broke Game
both
Center
days.
last week.
Totally broke it.
Because it was so popular.
Yeah.
Lauren Brichter, TWiT was bought by Twitter. He worked for Twitter briefly, but they really have trashed the app. He decided he was going to do something else. He said a long time ago, I'm going to write a game, and he unveiled it on Wednesday of last week.
Right.
And the whole world was like waiting. What's Lauren Brichter going to do? This is it. Letterpress.
Letterpress.
But you need to help me because I don't understand the strategy at all.
So here's the strategy. I will show you quickly.
Colin is beating my butt.
Colin Weir?
Yeah.
Well, Colin knows how to play because I beat Colin. Anyway, and you know what's weird is Colin's not playing me now. He's just playing you because he's trying to feel smarter.
Yeah.
He can beat you.
Yeah.
So here are all the games that I'm playing right now. In fact, Renee Ritchie and I are in a death match.
I bet you he's good.
And he's got some skills. So let's just open up the game that I'm already playing with him. So the last word he played was floods. The last word I played was fodder, right? But it's my turn because I got the little arrow. Now, the dark red letters are letters that he's blocked from me getting points from.
By surrounding them.
By surrounding them, yes.
So there's a little bit of the game Go in this.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that I can use these words, or use these letters in a word.
But you don't get points for
I don't get points, and I can't take points away from him.
So your goal
That's
is to not only make good words that make you points, but also to surround letters. And in fact, the game isn't over until you turn, the board is all turned one color or the other, right?
Well, all the letters have to be used, and then it's whoever has the most points. But then it gets kind of fun. So here's the thing. Renee has 15 points, and as you can see, if I was to say Ford, now I've taken points away from him and added points to myself. I don't get points for blue because I am blue. Right? I only take away points from him if I use his pink letters because that's what he's representing.
Right.
And now if I use a regular letter, I get a point, but he doesn't get any points taken away. Now, the goal of this game, basically, we're sort of, we're kind of in a stalemate almost here because what I want to do is I want to use that Q and the X. That'll end the game, but I want to make sure I get 7 more points or bring his points down. So let's just say, just for the purposes of instruction, that I could make this a word. I would win. That's not a word, but I would win with 13 to 12.
Because you've used all the letters
all
now.
the letters are used, and that's the end of that. And it's...
But you don't want to do that until you have more points.
Exactly. And you don't want to get someone to the end where I've used all the letters, but there's only an M left. Like, anyone could make a word out of M and just make sure that they use the rest of your color.
Is M worth the same as E? I mean,
they're all worth
one point.
Yeah, so like
it's not
when
like Scrabble.
No, when you get a Z, it's just you just have to get creative.
So I
with
have
Z
a
words.
Z, and nobody's used that Z. This guy's beating the pants off of me, by the way. His name is Bearded Jim, and I hate you,
Bearded Jim. What? Yeah, so you couldn't...
His last word was watts. My last word was exact. So I used the X, which is good. That X is a blue.
Well, so what you want to do is just focus on those pinks. Like, what can you make? Like, you've got...
Oh, see, I didn't even know that.
You've got packs.
So, not the reds, but the pinks.
So just, like, type in P-A-C-T-S.
Yeah. S-P-E-C-T-O.
Specto?
There's no R for me to spell Spector.
Specto. Oh, by the way, so if you submit it, go ahead and submit.
It will say.
It'll say, no, you can't. That's an invalid word. And by the way, I have typed some words that I'm like, come on.
Proper words are okay.
Well, no,
They're not.
if you choose Satan. I tried to play
Satan's not
Satan,
in the dictionary?
and
Well,
they said no.
I think that's appropriate.
Well, it wasn't appropriate for this.
Could you, hey, try Beelzebub. See if that works.
I'm not going to do that. But what's great is at the beginning, so Owly won. This is somebody that I don't know, but we've already played a couple rounds, and so I'm like, okay, now you're my.
But the
Game
rules
Center
are not
friend.
Scrabble rules. You can use proper words. I mean, whatever's in the dictionary, but it apparently includes Ford in the dictionary.
The Letterpress dictionary is a little bit selective.
Right.
For the most part, if it's a real word, it's
Right.
fine. I've had to look up, what's weird is like, this actually does help me get smarter. I had to look up at one point, I really needed to beat Nicole Lee, who former employee of TWiT. She's pretty good. And so I had Q, but I didn't have a U. And I'm like, I don't know any Q words that don't have U's in them that are 3 letters or more, because they have to be 3 letters or more in Letterpress. So I looked it up on the internet, and of course there's all sorts of websites devoted to Q words without U's for all the Scrabble nerds. So I was able to beat her, and I felt really good about myself. So yeah, so let's see. See, the world
It's
is my...
fun. And there's no time limit.
No.
You have as long as you want to make your move.
And in fact, it can be a little annoying because
People sometimes take a long
I sit
time.
down and
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so right now it's, I've got like 4 turns to play, but I'm also waiting for all my friends. I'm waiting for Jacob Mullins to play, my friend Devin, Nicole Lee, Drew Olenoff, Colin. I did not forfeit. Oh yeah, I did forfeit that game.
Why do you forfeit? How do you forfeit?
Well, sometimes I just say I just
give
don't want
up.
to play anymore. So what you
I
do,
don't like you.
if I was to say Radio Colin, screw you, I would just say remove, and then he would
Yeah.
get a notice that I said,
Okay.
I don't want to play.
Now Bearded Jim's just going to clump me. I know he is.
But that's Letterpress.
It's
now,
fun. Now
you might be sitting here thinking,
I can only
this doesn't
play
sound that fun.
3 games at
But
a
it
time. I'd
is.
like to play more games. Is there a way to do that?
What do you mean? Oh, yes.
I could pay for it.
Yeah, and gosh, I went ahead and updated. If you scroll, no, go back.
I was just looking at different themes.
But see,
No, I actually have already paid for it. I was just
oh, you have. I don't remember how much it was off the top of my head.
a couple of bucks.
99
It
cents.
was 99 cents.
99 cents,
Yeah.
nothing.
So then you can play as many games as you want at one
So
time.
what's your handle? Can people play you?
Yeah, I'm Sarah Lane Plays. But I already tweeted out that I'm Sarah Lane Plays on Game Center, and I have like so many people who want to play Letterpress now. So
that's
I'm
the
good.
other side of this.
I'm
is
good.
That you're playing it in Game Center.
You are.
And that was why it broke Game Center. Nobody had ever really used Game Center to do
No.
something like this, negotiate games.
No. In fact, all I really thought about Game Center before was, oh, it's very green.
All right, so I just started a game with a random person. You
Yeah,
can do
you
that
can
too.
do that too. If you don't have any friends, or at least any friends in Game Center, you can play Letterpress with just whoever. They'll match you up to somebody.
It's fun.
I'm playing with people right now that I was matched up with because I'm like, I want to play right now. I don't want to wait for my actual friends.
I feel like I'm not playing it right. Like there's something, like, I don't know, there's more.
But when I explain it to you, does it make sense?
Yes.
So
play the other guy's colors.
As
Try
much
to
as possible.
Try to surround
But
colors.
you also want to make sure that you're using the unplayed letters
Right.
so that you get down to the wire.
Right.
And then you just don't want to leave them with an open opportunity to use, to have like try not to leave a common letter.
Now here's
at
a
the
Q,
end.
but there's no U. Oh yeah, there's a U. Okay, good.
So you're good to go. But if you didn't have a U, I found out that QIS is a word. Totally playable.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah, that if you play Scrabble, you know that.
Well, I don't play enough Scrabble,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, QI,
Quilted,
QIS.
very good.
That's a good word.
That's a good word.
7 points.
Now, this person, if they're smart, they'll try to use as much of quilted. Like, do
Right.
you have like a ST, like stilted? Yeah, they could
So,
play
and there are
stilted.
rules about that. You can't
They couldn't play quilt
play quilt.
or quilts.
Quilts and quilt are gone.
Yeah.
But stilted is fine.
Yeah, because it's a totally different word.
So there you
Isn't
go.
the English language
Opponent.
fun?
So it hasn't found me an opponent yet. I'm gonna play a bunch more. I like this game a lot.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hooked. Okay, moving on to Path.
It's off the hook.
It is off the hook. For shizzle. Let's talk about Path for
Look,
iPad.
I
which
used
came
almost
out today.
all of his letters. He's not gonna like me. Oh, he already played clavicle.
Oh, that's
See?
so sad.
See?
Sad.
Can you play clavicled?
No. It's the same prefix. Can't do
It's
it.
not a word, is why.
Clavicled? You've been clavicled. Ow!
I don't want to play this guy anymore.
Oh, you can
It's too
forfeit,
good.
but then you're admitting defeat.
Yes, I am.
You're saying you are too tough. Let's talk about Path for iPad.
Yes.
Who's excited?
I actually like it. I like they did something in. You didn't like it. You were underwhelmed.
Here's why.
I think they did something innovative.
Number one, Path for iPad has not seemed to solved the horrible loading times that us Path users enjoy.
Yeah.
It's really slowed.
Mine
slow to
loaded
load.
fine.
Well, I don't know. Maybe something's just wrong with me.
And what I love is, now, normally what Path on iPhone and before on the iPad was a simple linear list of postings, locations, mostly pictures, quotes from your friends. You can have no more than 150 friends on Path. And so it's supposed to be really your real friends. But what I love about this is he's focused on the images now. So I don't see quotes. I don't see, I do see place check-ins, but mostly I see pictures. And I really like that because this becomes a really kind of fun photo album. Now, these are all my friends. For instance, this is Ben Ha of I Can Has Cheeseburger giving a speech as Psy from Opal Gangnam Style. Now, when I tap it, I see the rest of the Path stuff.
All right. So here's where this bothers me, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go back to Leo's iPad. Now, you're in landscape mode.
Yeah.
Looks just great.
What happens now?
Well, don't do that because... So I was going to ask you, hey, don't you want to see your notifications of everybody who's liked your stuff recently? How do you do that? You have to rotate. I would like to not have to rotate in order to get that information.
Actually, what's nice about the rotation is it now becomes...
It's the iPhone app again.
The iPhone app. So it's this linear...
That's the... Maybe I guess...
I'm happy with that.
Am I being too picky?
Well, I think that...
I just feel like, okay, if you go back to landscape, then it's like...
You don't ever see the notifications.
But also,
it's just a photo
some
album.
of those photos are extremely small. I mean, like really, really small.
I wonder if you could like...
You can tap on them.
All you could do is make them bigger that way.
But it kind of bugs me because it's like, what if... How does Path know what is interesting to you, you know? If you keep everything always the same size and it's constant, then you have a constant experience. If Path is starting to shrink down photos to the point where I don't really see them, they don't jump out at me, it kind of bugs me.
I knew we should not be getting our drinking water from the local nuclear power plant. I was a little nervous about that, but I thought no one would notice.
I'm surprised they wanted to get into a shirt together.
We seem to have a mutation problem.
Yeah, I don't know. TWiT staff, what are you going to do? We all got these new shirts and everybody went a little nuts.
They're great shirts.
Some are sharing
Apparently that
shirts,
one's a little large. Here's my son. I taught him how to make a spaghetti sauce the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, so I posted that. You notice it puts a map pin and how many people liked it and what the comments were. I think that's kind of fun. I like Path.
Well, but I love Path. You know, I use Path more than you do.
You do?
You know that I love Path.
You check in all the time.
I am a Path maniac.
Yeah.
I am super into it. However, and I'm glad that there's an iPad app, absolutely. Because I use the iPhone app.
I commend them because they could have just done this. They could have just done Path with more screen.
I guess so.
And what they did instead was, I think, something pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is where I really like Path. One of the reasons we really love Path is because it is designed
Okay, you
friendly.
gotta move. Hey, okay.
Now I want to see what it was.
Well, just let's not show it to the nice people in the world.
Oh, God. You know, I was kind of shocked when you pathed that.
I didn't path it. Well, I did path it. But
you did path
I'm not the one who created it. I just pathed it, and that was supposed to be
you know
for
that everybody
150
everybody
of my
is now
friends.
rewinding and freeze framing and going back to that.
How do they rewind?
I don't know. Magic.
Oh, you mean if they're not watching the live stream?
Yeah, don't look.
Leo Laporte.
That is so funny.
I mean,
you're not supposed to show
you.
Path in public.
You constantly have this problem. Think, McFly. Okay, so.
It's because you know why? Because
Path
I
is
don't
great.
use dummy hardware. I use the hardware that I use in real life, and I have really bad friends like you.
I may have some dark humor deep down inside. It's true.
I love it. It doesn't bother me at all.
I know. Okay, so we talked about a lot of apps just now. There are a lot of links to those apps that you might be interested in. If you are interested, please do visit our website, twit.tv/IPT. That's where you get all of the information of everything we talk about on the show, whether it's apps or news or services or what have you. You can get caught up on past episodes. We are on episode 122, people.
Holy magoli.
I feel like episode 100 was just yesterday, and it was... Jeez, I don't know. The years go by real quick. Last week was a particularly fun episode because we got to talk about the iPad Mini and the new iPad 4 Retina.
Now, I won't be here next week because I'm going...
or the week after that. And then the week after that, we have Thanksgiving, so nobody will be here.
3 weeks off.
3 weeks off. I'm already sad.
You know, I'm thinking, because I'm going to get the iPad Mini tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll do an unboxing tomorrow on Friday, just so people can see it. Because I mean, I don't want to leave it here. I'm going to take it with me.
I know.
Is that okay?
When you last week at our
You ordered one.
Last week at our staff meeting, you said, "Oh, I'll leave it. Somebody else on the boat will have one." And I was like,
I did not say that.
"There's no way." You said it.
I said
right next
that.
to you. And I was like, "There's no way he is leaving that iPad mini with me. Just no way." And yes, I did order one, and they
But
say
you ordered an LTE one.
So they say mid-November. Who knows?
Well, you know what? I may leave it here because I'm starting to see people say, even John Gruber, who loves Apple stuff, said his wife said, "Well, it's just like a Kindle, and why isn't it Retina?" And I think I'm hearing that from a lot of people. Like, why isn't it Retina?
I am one of those people.
Yeah.
I agree.
Seems like they made a Retina iPod Touch. They made a Retina iPad. Why? And this is in between. Why couldn't they have Retina?
Well, you know, we actually have some responses to that from the people because we talked a little bit
Coming
about
up.
this last week. Coming up, yeah.
But first, sometimes people probably look at my iPad and they think, "Oh, Leo just plays around with his iPad. He doesn't do anything serious." And that could not be farther from the truth. I'm going to take my iPad with me, both the Mini and the iPad 3. I don't have the 4 yet. I'm going to take them with me when I go to Australia because I can use it to access the computer here with GoToMyPC. See, look, just to prove it, this is my productivity folder. Go to Meeting, go to my PC. I got the stuff in here. This is the stuff that I use to get stuff done. I love GoToMyPC. In fact, this one icon is really opens up the screen on this Retina iPad to an entire Macintosh computer. It could be Mac or PC, back at the office, securely connecting 128-bit SSL, and I can do anything right here that I could do at my desk over there. Even when I'm in Australia, I could send and receive email, run a program, access network resources. I've got presentations to give, and you know me, I'm going to leave something behind. What if I left my presentation or a slide that I needed, or just some stuff? Go to my PC, I fire it up, get the stuff I need, and move on. It's fast, it's secure. It is really an amazing tool, and it means that you can go on the road. You can leave work early, you can take time off, you can go on vacation, and bring an iPad or even an iPhone and access everything on your office computer, Mac or PC. It's kind of wacky to be running Windows 8, by the way, is on a iPad. That's a collision of worlds. I want you to try it. It's the missing link that turns your mobile device into your computer. You can try it for 30 days free, just in time for Thanksgiving. Are you going over the river and through the woods?
To grandmother's house I go.
Bring the iPad and go to my PC.
I will.
30-day free trial. Visit GoToMyPC.com. Click the Try It Free button. The promo code is iPad. Then get the free app on your iPad or iPhone and go see Grandma. Kindle Fire works on it, and Android too. GoToMyPC.com, promo code iPad. We thank them for their support of iPad today.
So Scott Forstall, huh?
Wow.
Interesting.
Wow.
For anybody who's not familiar with Scott Forstall, he was head of iOS, and he is out at Apple. He's staying on as a advisor, consultant, whatever they're calling him, for a year.
That's what I'm going to say, too. It's
that's nice to know. That's really happy holidays.
He was fired.
Yeah.
And the thing that's interesting is he was Steve Jobs' buddy. Steve Jobs brought him from Next Computer, where they'd worked together, to run the iOS. Actually, he was doing other things, but he ended up running the iOS division at Apple. He was very much a trusted lieutenant. And with Steve gone, the rumors were, and I don't know if this is true or just,
what you hear.
You know how people talk after somebody's gone, but the rumors were that he was really jockeying to become CEO. He was very much interested in his position at Apple. And what ended up happening was that there were some pretty big gaffes in iOS. Siri, many people consider Siri still in beta, kind of a blunder, and then, of course, the Maps debacle. And now, again, this is pure speculation, but a number of people, including Nick Bilton, running at the New York Times, he's going to be on TWiT on Sunday. I'm going to ask him.
Good.
But he wrote that a number of people had said that the problem, the final straw, was, remember that apology note that Tim Cook put on the front page of Apple saying, yeah, we screwed up, it's not great, go use Bing or Google Maps on the web browser? Apparently, Cook had asked Forstall to sign that letter, and Forstall refused. Now, as a good CEO would, he took the fall, but you got to think when a CEO is forced to do that, that he's going to not be too happy about it. And ultimately, that was what they say. And again, this is no one knows for sure, except the people inside Apple. They're also, the New York Times and Om Malik also reported that people were celebrating when Scott left the campus. They all went out and had a drink.
Yeah, sources, of course, from within the company say that he was very difficult to work with.
Yeah.
So if he had been a right-hand man to Steve Jobs in some capacity, that's one thing. But with Jobs no longer around, Scott Forstall isn't very well liked, or at least is difficult. Then there are issues with the department, very important department that he's in charge of. This doesn't surprise me too much.
Yeah, but I gotta
it is a
agree with
big
Lepton in our chat room, who says, yeah, he was fired because he did such a rotten job with iOS. The iPad and iPhone are such a failure. And yeah, okay, Siri and Maps maybe not, but overall, iOS is the most profitable product Apple makes. The portable iOS devices are the thing.
Sure.
So shouldn't he get a little credit for that?
Yes, but I mean, I am an iOS faithful user, for sure. And there are certain things that I don't like and I overlook because it's like, hey, this is my operating system of choice, right? And in many ways, I'm very happy. But I wouldn't say there's a lot of innovation, I feel, coming out of iOS right now. I think maybe we're ripe for, let's go back to the drawing board on some of these things. There are the rumors, too, that with Eddie Q taking over iTunes, taking over iOS. He
was the iTunes guy.
Yeah. And Johnny Ive starting to get his hand in the software side rather than just the hardware. That the design of a lot of stuff that you either like or don't like about iOS is going to change.
Well, the big speculation is that it was Scott Forstall who, along with Steve Jobs, liked what they called that skeuomorphic design, where it had wood and leather and stitching.
Like Game Center with the freaking poker carpet thing.
And apparently Johnny Ive in an interview with I think it was with the Telegraph in England, kind of said, yeah, well, that's not my favorite thing in the world. And so the thinking is, and again, speculation, Johnny Ive and Scott Forstall apparently would not even go to the same meetings together. The thinking is that they were butting heads over this skeuomorphic design. We'll know because we'll slowly, gradually see these
yeah,
programs.
like is Newsstand going to look like a bookstore with wood?
Right.
I mean, I don't need it to look like that.
The worst.
I don't really have a problem with it. Some people do, but I don't.
The
that
worst
doesn't help
example really is Game Center. I mean, it looks like you're at a blackjack table.
It's gross.
It really is horrible.
It doesn't look like Apple. That's the problem I have with it. It's like the colors
This looks
are
like
weird.
Zynga design.
Yeah, it's just I don't
So
you know, I know that games can have sort of obnoxious little logos. But
actually, it may not be the worst. Notes is pretty bad as well with the leather and the stitching in the pocket and the torn paper.
Not into that either.
Although this isn't as distracting or as ugly. And then somebody in the chat room is saying, "Find My Friends." Is worse. That's what.
Well, because you got the stitching.
That's pretty bad.
Looks
too.
like leather.
In fact, you can find lots of examples. We'll see. I bet you all of these will get revised in the next 6 months.
But I welcome that. Why not? Let's
and you
shake
do
it
have
up.
to say, when you look at Android, and especially now when you look at Windows Phone, that the iPhone and iPad, just very simple grid of icons interface, you know, we only got folders a year ago, is very primitive and simple compared to the tiles in Windows Phone and the widgets and the stuff that you can do in Android. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that migrate into iOS, would you?
No.
They did it with notifications. You know, you have weather in here and
By
stuff
the way,
like that,
the
but
background of notifications.
Yeah, it's
I
linen.
never really thought about it. It's supposed
linen.
to be the what is it? Polymorphy?
Skeuomorphic.
Skeuomorphic.
It is. It's linen.
Version of crushed, crispy linen.
Yeah. Apple's always done a lot of brushed aluminum, linen, and I really think you can attribute it to Steve Jobs. They say that the leather in Find My Friends is a copy of the leather in his corporate jet.
I mean, is that the only place that kind of leather is?
Yeah, he just wanted to give us a little feeling of what it must be like.
Yeah, let's find where Leo is. Oh, it feels like he's in a jet.
I'm in my corporate jet right now.
You're never anywhere good. You're one of my 3 Find My Friends
I'm really boring.
people.
I go to 2 places.
You're here or you're down the
home.
street.
Home or here or home.
Hey, so speaking of iTunes, we thought we were going to get iTunes by at least October 31st because Apple said at their announcement of the iPhone 5, not even the iPad mini, and not even the latest announcement, yeah, we got a new version of iTunes. iOS gets it already, but then you're going to see it on your Macs before the end of October. And it came and went. And yesterday they said, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, November.
It's going to happen by the end of November, I think, at the latest.
I think this is directly related to the previous story.
I do too.
I think as soon as that, as Eddie moved, And Johnny Ive got, and this is not usual for Apple, he was in charge of human interface across the board in all Apple products. There was a little bit of a memo. Let's pause for a moment and look at iTunes, because iTunes needs desperately to be fixed. It really is a terrible piece of software. And had they released an iTunes that was just a new UI on top of the same clunky background, I think that they would.
I mean, when you say it's a terrible piece of software, do you mean because it's bloated?
It's bloated, it's slow, it crashes. It also isn't very modern, much like iOS. It has not kept up with the times, and I think they, in a way, implied it's going to be a big revision. I don't think it was. I think it was just, you know, lipstick on a pig. And I think somebody up top said, hey, maybe we ought to maybe put a hat and a bow on the pig.
I do think it's slow, but I don't feel like it's very crashy. But I do feel like it's just, I mean, let's,
you know, maybe it hasn't crashed. Maybe it's
over.
just thinking, but it's driving me crazy.
Seems like it's just crashing.
It's just terrible.
So
no, you're right. I don't think it's ever crashed on me either.
Well,
that's fair.
but slow and bloated. I mean, that's iTunes is. I don't even really sync via iTunes very often, just because it's like, oh God.
Well, in a way, that was the response, wasn't it? Well, we'll just make it so you don't have to use iTunes anymore.
Right. I mean, I use iTunes quite a bit to access the App Store, but not a whole lot of other stuff. So it's got to be pretty compelling to get us roped back into, you know, buying music on iTunes. Of course, they've got the rumors that they're going to get into the Pandora internet radio game.
I think
if that's really smart and part of iTunes, that'll be more compelling.
This would be a very good opportunity to sit back and say, let's rethink this whole thing and start over. They really need to.
Yeah.
Maybe a month is not enough. Maybe they're not going to be able to do that.
They've got so much money, you know. They're sort of sitting on top of this huge pile of money.
You know,
it's time to make sure, if you're on top now, to stay on top. You know, don't let everybody out-innovate you.
But they spend a lot of money. I think people don't realize this. Horace Dedieu just wrote on his Asimco blog, what Apple spends for its R&D budget is more than 3 times as much as Google and Facebook, and even more than the very capital-intensive Intel, which spends billions on new fabs. Apple spent $8 billion last year on you know, infrastructure improvements, R&D. That's a lot of money.
But they made so much more than that.
It's not that they can't afford it, but it's intriguing to think, what could they be spending that money on? It's not merely servers. They're outspending Google and Facebook, who I would guess need more servers even than Apple. It's not on fabs, chip fabs. What are they spending that money? $8 billion. It's a lot of money.
It is. But
it's not iTunes, I can tell you that right now.
Come on, iTunes. We know you're going to be good. Just be great. Hey, we got a travel tip for you specifically.
I'm going somewhere.
This
I'm
is
leaving
from Doug
on Sunday.
in Davenport, Iowa.
All right.
And he says, I was listening to Leo on This Week in Tech, and he was talking about his new GoPro camera that he bought for his trip.
I'm so excited.
In case he didn't know, he could use the camera connection kit and then edit and view the videos right on the iPad. Doug says, I use this all the time and it works great.
Going to do it. Going to bring that with me.
Good. Do you have a camera connection kit?
I do. Well, I have the old one. I think I could probably use it with the adapter.
I think you can.
I didn't even think of that. I better try it.
Because it's all the... Well,
should be. Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I think I remember reading that you can. I got the new GoPro Hero 3, the silver. The black won't be out for another week. But it's so tiny, and I got the waterproof housing because I'm going to go diving.
That's
I'm
fun.
very excited. It does time-lapse. It also is Wi-Fi, so I can control it with my iPhone or my iPad to take shots. And so I could sit in the boat and send Lisa down with the GoPro and take pictures of the sharks when she's down there.
Swimming with sharks?
A little bit to the left. Oh, watch. Oh!
Yeah.
Got a shot of that.
Give me some action so I can edit on my iPad later.
Can't wait.
No, that's true. I mean, the iPad it's such a great tool for this sort of stuff.
I expect to be doing a lot of that. No.
With some
I always say that, and then really I just take lots of naps.
It's vacation.
I go back to the room saying, you know, I'm going to work on the video, and then I just take a nap. Photosmith, I downloaded Photosmith. I have Lightroom on my laptop. I have iPhoto.
You've got it all.
I'm very excited.
We've got a duh tip from Scott in Hesperia, California, who has a duh tip for lost iPads.
Hi, Sarah and Leo. I'm wearing my app cap as a tribute to your segment.
Yay!
And I have an idea for an app or a question to see if there's an app that already exists that will do something like this. But I've been using my lock screen on my iPhone, and I'm considering using it on my iPad. And one thing that bothers me is if somebody finds my iPhone and the lock screen is on, they don't have any way to contact me if they find my phone. So I thought that it would be a good idea if Apple just built into the system a way for us to put a message with our contact information, maybe an email, or they could put a code that the person could enter into the lock screen that would allow them to contact Apple and say, hey, we have this person's iPhone. And so I set up a little demo, but since I'm recording this on my iPhone, it's going to be in reverse, so I will put the screenshot edited into this movie. But I've thought about making the app myself, but I really don't want to invest that kind of time and energy. I've got other things going on. But I really enjoy your show, and if you have something like that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
So
This is my screenshot of the app design, or at least the verbiage I thought would be good.
Huh.
Thanks.
Well, here's the okay.
Well, now you do that already.
Well, mine is a joke.
But I mean,
right?
you could put something legitimate there.
But I could put legitimately, if you find this, please
Now,
contact me.
how did you do that?
here.
That was just a screenshot.
Yeah, it was like, I think I made that in Pages. I took a
Right.
screenshot and then I just made the screenshot
So that's easy
my
enough
lock
to do.
screen.
But I agree, it'd
But
be
you
really cool if
don't-
Apple had a button that said, press this button to call Apple and report this lost. Or,
Well, or just press this button to automatically send the person an email
Right.
that the iPad has been found. I mean, no one at Apple is going to want to be answering all those phone calls, but if they had some sort of
You know-
routing system.
if I lose my wallet and you throw it in a mailbox, the Postal Service will deliver it to my house if it has a driver's license on it. If you lose a room key, it says if found, just throw in the mailbox. Nobody has room keys anymore, but in the old days when you had
What's
room
a
keys.
room key?
Well, in the old
Like in a
days, you'd have a
hotel?
lock on your key and you'd turn the... It was a thing that was like a piece of metal that was specially designed to only open that door.
Oh, come on, I know what a key is. I was like, I don't know of room keys that say, if found, please.
They do. That was on the piece of plastic. It said if found, drop in the mailbox.
Really?
Postage paid, and the post office would deliver it.
But
I know they do that with wallets because I've had that happen. So I wonder maybe somebody who's watching works for the United States Postal Service or some other postal service in another country. What would happen if the iPhone had clearly on the front, return this to an address, postage paid?
But that's like security issues. I wouldn't want to put my address on anything that's...
Well, put a postal box.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I don't give my address out for anything. It's just P.O. Box 1018.
And then your iPad just shows
Petaluma,
up
California, 94953. And then I would just open it up and I go, oh, look, my iPad. They bent it in half to fit it in, but otherwise it's perfect.
Well, sadly, most of the time we lose our iPads is because somebody rips them off. But yes, there are going to be situations where somebody says, oh my goodness, in this wooded field, an iPad, I must return it to the nice woman who left it here.
I guess it's too valuable. Although a wallet is valuable.
Well, but you don't mean to lose your wallet. It happens.
Well, no, you don't mean to lose your iPhone unless you're an Apple employee drunk at a bar.
That's what Scott is saying. Let's think about this. Let's help us help each other. And Apple, now that you've got a management shakeup, I think that this should be first on your list.
Find
Second
My
after
iPhone
iTunes.
does allow you to send a text message to the person saying, it's my phone, give it back. They usually just ignore it.
Well, that's because they stole it.
You could call them.
They don't have to answer. It's very complicated.
Well, if they're not going to do that, then why are they going to pay any attention to what's on the front
No,
screen?
but I'm talking about, there's a robber and then a good Samaritan. Two different things.
Well, if you call the Good Samaritan, they'll
Hello? Yes.
I'm so glad you called. I've been trying to figure out whose
but
phone
if it's
this
an
is.
iPad, you can't call them.
Oh.
You could message, I guess, and say, please call me.
Does Find My iPhone work with an iPad to do messaging? I bet not.
Well, no, it would. Because if you have it associated with an email address or
It
Apple
does.
account.
Cake B says,
Yeah.
or Cake Bone, one of the other says, I can't read it. Says, yes, it does. So that's interesting.
So there you go. Got some duh tips, got some travel tips.
I think it actually is.
Got some crazy Apple news.
And
Got it
now,
all.
I got something you will not believe.
Well, this is a little insane. Usually we have a chair next to you and nobody's sitting in it. And today we've got something different.
A printer.
It's a printer, but not just any printer.
And it's a printer connected to the Lantronix XPrint server. Do you know about this?
Well, yes.
So,
but
if
I'm
you
special.
have a Wi-Fi printer, so
right.
you can print right from your iPad to your Wi-Fi printer, right?
Yeah,
You
it's
just select
sitting right
print,
on my
and
desk.
it just prints.
Yeah.
If it's an HP printer, you don't need any extra software. Some other printers like Epson, you need some Epson free
Yeah,
software.
they're already ready.
But a lot of us still have the old USB printers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not on the network. So this is kind of cool. Lantronix makes this device. It is an XPrint server. Lets you wirelessly print from your iPad, your iPhone, or your iPod Touch to a USB or network printer, wired or wireless, directly from the iOS native menu. So you plug this into your network, you plug it into the printer, you give it a little power, and it's there. Now watch, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it right now. So let's say I have an email. This is so cool. I'm so glad to have this. So here's an email, and I want to print it out. I go to my print menu on the iPad, select print. Now, I am on the same network as the Lantronix XPrint server. There it is, HP JetStep. That's the printer. Print, boom.
And it shouldn't be able to work.
Yep.
But it does.
It does, right over the network,
because
using
you got your little Lantronix.
the XPrint server. It supports multiple printers. By the way, when I put it on the network, it saw all the network printers as well, so I would be able to print to any printer on the network. The Home Edition is $99, supports up to 8 USB and 2 network printers for $99. The Network Edition is $149, and it supports unlimited network printers. It is a great solution if you want to print from an iOS device in your home or your office. Automatic discovery, so it's starting to print. Automatic discovery of all the printers on there. There's an advanced configuration. I can go to the web interface, and you can see the advanced configuration. Look at that, it's printing.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that cool?
Oh
I am
my
not connected to the
gosh.
printer.
No
wires.
You're clearly not.
So I want you to find out more. There's an offer code. If you use the coupon code TWiT, you'll get free shipping. Just go to xprintserver.com/twit. There it is. There's the website. This is the Lantronix XPrint server, brand new sponsor on the show. And I think one I'm glad to have because it really solves a problem for people with USB printers, and they want to share them with users on the network. You know, there are, I won't say the other companies, a well-known other company that makes these things is like 3 times more expensive. This works better, is easier to use, and is at $99 is the most affordable.
Yeah, we set it up right
solution.
before the show. It was easy. How long was that email printing? It's a long email.
Yeah, it's a long email and it's spam.
Oh.
But there it is.
Yeah.
Printed it out.
You got it.
Yep.
It's very
Isn't
nice.
that cool? xprintserver.com/twit. Free shipping.
Hey, I mean,
when you use our
so
offer
many people
code.
already have printers. It's like there's something wrong with your printer. It just would be nice if it worked with your favorite gadget. And now
You know why
can
this
make
came
it.
about?
You
Somebody
can
called
make it so.
somebody called the radio show and said, "I have an old USB printer. How do I print to it?" And I told them this other company, and it was, I think it was $300. And I
Wow.
felt it's like you could get a
another
network printer, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a good solution, but this is and this is good for a business too, because if you're in a business, you know, you probably have a lot of printers on the network, and this will solve all of that. xprintserver.com/twit for more information and to get yours. $99 for the Home Edition.
Hey, Leo, I printed something out for you.
I hate to even think.
You sure? I used an iPad app. It's on the printer.
Oh,
Oh,
just for me.
Chad printed something for you. What is it?
So I made it with pages
What is
or
it?
paper.
It's pretty.
Oh, it's
That's.
got a little cut off.
Oh dear.
Maybe I hit cancel.
I think you were supposed to.
Oh, I see. That's my name.
Oh wait.
I think I hit cancel. I was switching, so I think I hit cancel in the middle of the print.
Cool story, bro.
I thought it was that thing that Sarah put on Path. That's what
No.
Hey, you know what? I am so sorry. Hey, you want to read some feedback?
I got peanut butter in my Path. Yes, let's read some let's read some feedback.
Let's feed some
Feed some Nemoc.
female.
Please. I like the new pair. I don't care what you say. Dave Morin's my best friend.
Path, not pear.
Path.
Yes.
Oh, Path.
Yes.
Oh, that's a different story
Oh
entirely.
my God. So Perry Noya, who she has written into some of our other shows before.
Now I see a picture of you having your cats making out. I don't think you should post that in public.
They're cats and they're adorable and they love each other. It's just feline love.
Does your voice go up when you talk about cats?
Yeah.
Kitty cats, it does. Chad's does
Because
too.
they're so cool.
Chad's does too. Oh, they're so cute.
Oh, the little faces. They're so furry. Just a furry face. Hey, so let's get back to normalcy. Perry Noya says, you asked whether people would be going mini instead of the full-size new iPad version 4. I only have a 1st-gen iPad right now. My husband has an iPad 2. We never got a 3, and yeah, you know, I'm kind of drooling over the Retina display, but to be honest, I don't need it. Never had it. I mainly use my iPad for business apps like Cozy Calendar, Tap Forms, Invoices to Go. I don't really need to have all that screen space. I could use more room in my purse. So at the moment, I am definitely asking for an iPad mini for my upcoming birthday rather than that iPad 4. I think that this is a common feeling. A lot of people, if you
have an iPad 1, absolutely.
Yeah. But even, I mean, if you don't have Retina, I remember when the Retina display iPad came out and we were like, that's cool. And I thought to myself, I mean, but I don't have a problem with this
so
screen.
much better. Well, that's why I'm very interested. I can't wait to, have you played with the Mini?
Yes.
Yes, you have.
I have.
So what is your reaction?
Well, my reaction is, when I go straight from the Retina display to the screen, I notice the difference.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it's downgrade in quality, but the screen is smaller.
Right.
So it depends on the app, but certain apps you don't really notice as much.
How about if you go from an iPhone, Retina iPhone, to the
I haven't really done that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends. I mean, if I love this iPad. You know, this is not the sort of iPad. I hear people saying, well, you know, we've all always thought that it was a little bit too heavy. I just really don't feel that way. I've never felt that way.
I don't think it's heavy.
It just doesn't. It's not an issue to me.
Well, you know who it's heavy for is people reading in bed, holding it like a Kindle.
But I do that
you don't
every
do that.
night.
Do you do that really with your
Yes.
iPad? Well, you lift weights. You're very
I just
strong.
don't. I just feel like you kind of and you read.
Do you rest it on a pillow?
I mean, sometimes I fall asleep and it falls on me.
That would wake you up very
But it doesn't hurt.
abruptly.
It's just.
You don't rest it on something?
No. I mean, I guess if I put my
You
knees
do.
up, I would rest it on
You're
my
resting
knees.
on something because there's no way you're holding that.
I'm not holding it, but I'm like, you're laying in bed and you're, I don't know. Well, you know, sometimes I use the cover, right? So I sort of rest it on myself.
Yeah.
I am my own iPad stand.
Yeah. It's just something you don't want anybody to take a picture of.
No, I don't want anyone to take a picture of me.
Because your chin is like
yeah,
this.
it's just, no. Whether
And-
there's an
and
iPad or not involved.
You're looking at an iPad.
I really want pictures in
It's not an
general.
attractive look.
No.
You're going like,
But I mean, that's private time.
but you're comfy. You're comfy.
Comfy.
You're comfy.
I'm comfortable. Yeah. Why not?
I guess I could do that.
But I
what I
think-
wouldn't want to do is this. Because that's heavy.
It's the same thing.
It's also upside down.
What are you doing? It's the same thing.
No, this is easy.
But then rest it. There you go. It's fine. Yeah, you're very attractive. Attractive stuff. You really are old. You gotta take that shirt off.
I'm just saying, you don't want to hold it up, and I think a little mini you wouldn't mind holding up. But then you'd have to hold it closer because it's mini.
The truth is that the mini is extremely light. People are gonna love it.
Give me a hand, I can't get up.
Like Perry said,
Thank you.
she wants something that's gonna fit into a purse or a handbag a little bit more easily. The
I
mini's
think
definitely
that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of 7-inch tablets. You know, I love the Nexus 7. So
No, you had mentioned last week you didn't think that the mini was gonna be a big seller. But the mini is now already
Did
delayed.
I say that too?
Yes.
I'm saying a lot of
Back
stuff
me
I don't
up,
remember.
chat. You know he said that. He said, it'll
That was
sell.
Tom
It's not
said
gonna be-
that.
It wasn't Tom. It was you. It was you. Let's get to another email. This is from Larry Jacobson, and he's got an interesting view on the mini being 4:3 aspect ratio rather than HD 16:9.
Yeah.
Says, I want to bring a logical application of 4:3 being preferable to HD. I'm a musician who uses my iPad to display musical scores, charts, lyrics. Here's my perspective. A 4:3 screen has the proper shape and size to format an 8:11 sheet of paper. Most music scores and charts are designed that way. It would fill a 4:3 screen top to bottom and edge to edge with a text still large enough to read from a music stand. A 7-inch or 10-inch HD tablet's display is the shape of 8:14. So for musicians who need to display charts, that is like a sheet of legal-sized paper, while we import normal 8:11 charts into HD-shaped spaces. They only fill 2/3 of the space, and it leaves white space at the bottom, and the text is too small to read. He goes on to explain some use cases of this. But he says musicians can't run tablets in landscape mode when we're playing, because when you're playing an instrument, you don't want to scroll pages 3 times per page. And I hadn't thought about that.
You know,
that for certain, I guess, I don't know.
I hadn't either, and I think that's actually a brilliant insight. The 4:3 is a sheet of paper, 16:9 is a movie screen.
And so much of the iPad is meant to be that productivity.
So it depends what your
feels
metaphor is. It
normal.
depends what you're looking to do. If
Yeah.
you're looking to do something like reading, where it's a piece of paper, Because I know when I got the Surface RT, which is also 16 by 9, it feels very strange in portrait mode. It feels too tall, and reading feels less weird because we're just so used to a book being 4:3. I hadn't thought about that. That makes perfect sense. So maybe the answer is if what you want to do is watch movies or TV or video of any kind, then maybe 16:9 is a better shape. But if you want to do something that's page-oriented, you want 4 by 3 because that's about the same dimensions as a sheet of paper. I think that's a very good point.
Yeah, makes sense. And again, the iPad mini is running all of the same apps as the iPad, so it would make sense that it truly is just a smaller version of this, not actually a different aspect ratio, which of course the iPhone 5 is now. By the way, the iPhone 5, I'm so used to it.
That's 16 by 9.
It seemed so long at first, and now I was at a dinner party last night, and everybody's got their phones out because we don't actually talk to each other. And I'm looking, and it's like, I actually said to somebody across the table, I'm like, is that a 4 or 5? And he's like, you're looking at it. Why are you asking me? I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell. Everything looks normal to me now.
That's
the
because
iPhone
it's
5
only
doesn't.
one icon row taller.
No, it's quite a bit taller.
176
I should be
pixels.
able to tell. It's just that the iPhone 5 doesn't look long to me. So
Right, you're used to it.
I'm tricking myself into thinking, is that the old one?
Yeah.
Or the new one?
But it's 16:9.
It is. But I don't think people think of the iPhone as something that they're going to read sheet music off of.
No.
Necessarily.
That would be a
You
bad
need
idea.
something bigger.
Yeah.
Got a voicemail from Thomas, who has a little bit of a potential loophole question.
Hi, Sarah, Leo. This is Thomas from Southern California. Question I have is, I have an iPad 3, bought it on the day it came out. I have Apple Care. And with the discontinuation of the iPad 3, would I then get an iPad 4 and also the new improved power supply brick if my iPad ever dies?
No.
Thanks for taking the question. Love the show. Bye-bye.
Well, what do you get?
He'd get an iPad 3. As long as there were iPad 3s to be gotten, he'd get an iPad 3. The only time Apple will replace an older model with a newer model is if they can't get the older model.
And they obviously have some stock.
Right.
They're just not selling them anymore.
Right. Well, they are selling them refurbished. So there's plenty of iPad 3s around. You would get an iPad 3. You'd get a refurb iPad 3. There is
that would make me mad. I don't want a refurb.
That's what you got in the first place. There is a precedent for this. Remember when they did a recall of the early iPods? It was many years after the iPods came out. They didn't have, they had some, I guess. Some people got the same model, but most people got a newer iPod because they didn't have the old ones. So it's possible, it's conceivable that you'd get an iPad 4, but it's as long as there's iPad 3s lying around
and they're
that work, they're going to give you an iPad 3. Yeah.
Finally, we got a little clarification from Carol, who wrote in about my response to, I think it was last week, someone said, well, how do you back up your apps? How do you make sure that they don't go away if an app gets pulled from the App Store or something? And I said, I just do iCloud for the most part. Carol says, you answer that you do iCloud backup. However, the apps themselves are not part of the iCloud backup. The only thing that's backed up which is apps you own. So when you do a restore, the apps are then restored from the store.
Right.
So
that way you get the more recent version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if an app is gone, for example,
Right.
it says restore will attempt to download the same version of the app.
Won't do it.
But if that version is no longer available,
Right.
the latest version of the app will be restored. Apps won't be restored if they're no longer available. Totally makes sense. And that's a really good point. I mean, I'm also a weird, I feel like we're such weird examples because I have so many apps on this that I think, oh, I don't know. I mean, how many apps have been pulled from the App Store? I don't know. Maybe I'd lose 2 out of 400. But it's true. If there's an app that you really, really care about, you don't want to restore in a way that is going to make it cease to exist if
Right.
you know that it's not in the App Store anymore.
But that's why you would do the iTunes disk-based backup, because
Yeah.
that does, to best of my knowledge, back up the entire thing, including old apps, and you would be able to restore those old apps.
Right.
That's why you would want to do that if you have an app that's discontinued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there are not too many. I mean, are there any apps that are discontinued that you know of where you're like, I gotta make sure that I don't get rid of this guy?
Well, iFitness is a good example. This was an app that I really loved, and they actually got pulled off the market, I believe, by Apple because they were faking reviews and faking ratings.
Oh,
that's my understanding anyway. And it was a great app, so it went away. Somebody else took it over, and then it went away again. And anyway, it's got a checkered past. But I loved it because it had all the workouts.
You liked the app.
And I had my workout routines in it, so I didn't want to lose that app. I think there's a lot of examples like that of apps that are, obsolete, discontinued, but still work.
I can't really think of anything that I'm using regularly that I know
VLC, that's another good example. That was one Apple pulled off the market because it did something Apple didn't want it to do.
Right.
There's, Siri, the original Siri. Remember that?
That's
Apple bought
true.
them, took it off the market.
That's
but if
true.
you
I
had the
remember-
original Siri, it did more than the Apple Siri.
Yeah, when we first upgraded to, what was it, iOS 5? Is that when is that when Siri first came about, iOS 5?
Yeah, that's right.
Tom Merritt was like, great, now I just get a worse version of the Siri I already liked. That sucks.
Well, thank God they fired that forestall.
Ah, that forestall. Woo, what a stinker.
I wonder, I really wonder. I think in a way I feel bad for Scott because of all the negative publicity, like, oh, he really was terrible. And a lot of that is just people who didn't like him and were jumping and piling on. But I wonder, does it make it hard for you to go out in the world then and get another job? Does he even need another job?
It's not like he
may not.
He's got some
He'll be an
some real
entrepreneur.
success under his belt.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll find a great place somewhere else. I get the sense that the executive team at Apple might all be a little hard to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're talking about a lot of egos.
I think you're right.
Two grown men who refuse to sit in a meeting together. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's
Well, if
a
that
little
really
intense,
happened,
if
yeah.
that really happened. And
Yeah.
it's I know that kind of stuff does happen. Reminder that we love hearing from you guys. Tried to get to as much of your feedback. We never get to all of it, but send it in because it's absolutely awesome. Videos, voicemails, emails. You can write us at iPad today at twit.tv. The voicemail, our Google Voice number is 757-504-IPAD. Just spell it like you spell iPad. Or you can send us a video. Send us the link for wherever you've put it up online. We will watch it and we will try to put it in a future episode. Thank you in advance.
Thank you in advance.
In advance.
If only there were a way that I could have watched the San Francisco Giants win the World Series while I was stuck. Sarah is mocking my choice.
You'll know why Leo is laughing in just a few.
I did that. If I had something better, I would have given it to you, but that's all I had.
Okay.
What was I talking about? Oh, yes, the ability to watch television on your home TV system when you're on the road, when the World Series is on and you ain't there. Or maybe, like you you saw the best game. Pablo Sandoval's 3 home runs. Maybe you want to watch that over and over again.
I do.
They're not
I
showing
never
it up on
want
the
to stop
Jumbotron.
watching it.
So what you do is you bring your iPad at AT&T Park. They've got great Wi-Fi. And you could watch your home theater system and rewind it. Your DVR, you could control it. If you forgot to tape the game, you can tape. See, I'm showing my roots. You can DVR it. I just think the Slingbox is fantastic. And this new Slingbox they just came out with. Oh, don't mind that. I'm just watching a little Oprah.
Oprah's not on anymore.
I know, but I DVR'd it
You're
because I knew
totally
she
watching
wouldn't.
Ricky Lake.
I am.
Be honest. You love Ricky Lake.
I was watching Dr. Phil earlier. It was narcissists. It was like Narcissist Week.
What? What does that mean?
He was
People who are narcissistic are just on a panel? Sorry, you now know what my app cap's going to look like. Way to go, Chad.
Sorry.
Way to ruin the
Don't
magic.
show
We've been doing this show for 122
There's
episodes.
no reason to show her. This is actually the fabulous Jeff Probst
Actually, I should just
show.
be quiet. Stop
and I've
talking
been
to
a
me.
fan of his ever since he was on That Girl. Slingbox, the new Slingbox 500 has Wi-Fi, so you don't have to string wire. It has HDMI connectivity, full HD 1080p. It looks fantastic. I want you to check it out. Slingbox apps right now are at half price while they're celebrating the introduction of the new Slingboxes. Go to slingbox.com/twit. Learn all about it. Or go to Amazon, Best Buy, and pick yourself up a Slingbox. Because I tell you what, this is the best way to turn your iPad into a portable television set. Fry's has them too. Amazon, Best Buy, Fry's, or visit slingbox.com/twit. And you know what? I love it because it knows it's a dish system. It's going to give me the dish remote control here. I've got full control of everything, including I can go to my DVR just by tapping the DVR button on the remote control.
Look how sad they all look.
So unhappy. I don't want to see how happy
Jeff
Jeff
Probst is happy. He's like, I've got you. I've
got
you in a lie.
I have you.
On the panel.
I have you now, Joker. Slingbox.com/twit. Find out more. And we thank them so much for they're really supportive of our network, and I'm very grateful to them.
Well, I, make a big deal out of the hat I'm wearing, but everyone knows.
Turn it around.
Ready. Now, why did you do this to me?
Turn it around.
Leo puts a little hat down at the.
Are you?
Oh, this is nice. at the beginning of the show, and I usually don't pay too much attention. I just wear
baseball
whatever.
season is over. You
and
can
he
wear.
tried to give me this garbage.
That's the Chicago Cubbies,
Wearing
baby.
this garbage.
Cubbies.
Wrong year.
Go Cubbies.
Actually, you know,
I mean the Bears. What am I saying? The
just-
Bears.
You got the city right.
The Bears.
Wearing that crap.
If you're a bicyclist listening to the show right now, there is not somebody sneaking up behind you.
Yeah, it's just Leo's. We get emails about that, you know.
I know.
People say I'm freaking out.
I know.
I thought my car was falling apart. It was just your dumb bells.
I know.
Actually, I don't have a problem with the city of Chicago or their sports teams. They don't
No,
really
I like the
win that
Bears.
often.
I like the Bears.
Are the Bears
They
doing
had
well this
Ditka.
season?
No.
Oh, all right. They had refrigerator.
Niners are
Perry.
doing great. You should be happy. We got a bye week. We're what, 6-2?
Did you know Alex Smith was driving one of the cars in the World Series parade yesterday?
Whose car was he driving?
I forget.
That's cute.
I think Bruce Bochy.
So he's like
Maybe
driving for
Lincecum?
Bruce Bochy. They had that nice Rolls Royce for Bruce Bochy. Was Alex driving the Rolls?
I don't know.
We had a
He
big
was in the
parade
parade,
on Wednesday. We had a big parade for the San Francisco 49ers. Giants. What's the name of the team? Giants.
Giants. Yeah.
And they had
Big people.
Sergio Romo, who threw the final pitch.
the closer, yeah.
What a nice strikeout that was. What does his T-shirt say? I just look illegal. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just look crazy.
It's not illegal.
No, obviously not.
He's a very nice man.
Couldn't play for Major League Baseball.
I think he's very nice. Hey, so my app cap, this is, by the way, if you're watching the show for the first time, we haven't totally lost all of
Bears
our
are
marbles.
6-1. They're doing great.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Duh, Bears.
Bears are having a good year.
Duh, Bears.
Good work, Bears.
Yeah.
Good work. Rawr.
6-1. That's fantastic. I had no idea.
Give them some honey. Rawr. They're bears.
Give them some honey.
We wear hats to make ourselves look very foolish while we talk about two apps, one app for Leo, one app for me, that we really like this week that have stood out to us as deserving of hats and
Is it too late to
praise.
change it to this Santa's hair?
You already showed it. You can't do that.
I
No.
love that. It's
Can't
such
do
a-
it. Yes,
That's my
it's
new
too late.
favorite program.
You'll never think about it again after today.
All right.
Be honest.
I promise.
So we talked about Path earlier in the show, and you said Dave Warren is your hero or your best friend, I think you said.
No, I don't actually know him, but I like him.
I don't know him very
He
well.
iced me a little
He
bit.
seems pretty nice.
I don't think he remembers because I was kind of rude to him when he was still at Facebook.
Well, way to go. Yeah, way to make friends. You have a way of, I don't know, you get in your moods. Well, you know that
I
you do.
consider that I am an honest journalist and I don't kiss.
You are moody.
Keister.
You're moody and you say stuff.
I don't know why you would say that.
Well, I don't know either. I guess I'm the crazy one. But the reason I bring up Dave Morin is because Britt Morin, wife of Dave Morin, is also a really show-offy, smart person. And she's got her own company, Britt & Co. It's actually really great. She's one of these women who, well, people, you know, because everybody likes DIY projects. It's not, you know, gender specific, but,
Right.
but she is really interested in sort of like hacking your life, right? So
Wow, cool.
she has all sorts of, on her website, this started as a website, but now it's an iPad app. It's really beautiful iPad app. There's all sorts of, hey, this is all of these ways to use whipped cream to flavor our booze. Well, that's a good one. But then there's some tech stuff. 15 ways to keep your devices powered up when the power's down. So that's a perfect example of a lot of folks on the East Coast right now who could use some tips like that. So they're not all technical tips, but she definitely has a tech gadget area. 44 best finds on Etsy, according to the viewers. Let's go
Wow,
ahead
that's neat.
and look at that article. So then you click on anything. As you saw, it's kind of almost like a Pinteresty tile sort of interface where you get a sense of all the stuff that's featured on Brit at this moment. I don't know why it's not loading, but this is what happens to me whenever I'm doing an iPad app.
It's my fault. I'm watching Jeff Probst.
I doubt
tying
that
up
that's
the internet.
actually keeping anything from loading. Well, I'll try another one. I don't know. I kind of had a problem with the site earlier. I'm not sure if it's on their end or mine. Oh, here's some. These are these Hue light bulbs I was reading about.
I
earlier
want to
this
find
week.
out more about that.
Yeah, me too.
Those are the Philips light bulbs you control with your iPhone.
And you can get them at the Apple store.
But they think they're back ordered. I really would like
Well,
one
of
of
course,
those.
everybody wants one.
Well, see, the idea is you could pick up a color with your iPhone, take a picture of a color, just like you did with the carpet, and then say, I want my mood, the room mood to be that, and it would then change the lights, because they're RGB, I guess, to match that color. Is that cool?
Very cool. Oh, I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, let's do like a light bulb dance party here. Mace case, pepper spray, and an iPhone case in one. I need this. I need this more than anything. I tried to switch to 4G. I don't know. It might be something on their end because nothing seems to be loading. But it's an article that it's
because everybody's going there now.
Well, I guess that's possible.
Yeah, you just twitted it.
I twitted it.
You twitted it.
You, Brit. But if I want to share it, there's obviously easy sharing: Facebook, Twitter, mail, SMS, or Tumblr, which is nice. And that's kind of it. You know, if I wanted to search for something specific, she does a lot of cool stuff that is helpful for our viewers because people ask us a lot about cases, and I'm like, I'm just not a huge case person.
Yeah, Abby's looking for an iPhone case.
Yeah.
You got a recommendation?
Yeah,
Britt does probably.
Well, she does. Yeah, she actually has a lot of recommendations. This is one of the go-to spots that I go to because not only does she have iPhone cases that are nice, but some of them are, I don't know, they have beautiful designs, or they look like old cassettes, or there's all sorts of stuff that I found here. I've been a fan for a while. The iPad app is completely free. There's absolutely no cost to read a lot of the stuff. And again, some of the stuff is really non-technical. You can make ombre wine bottles, for example. Very 'tis the season. You know what ombre is, don't you?
No, what is ombre?
It's when the girls have the very graduated highlights. So like the bottom of their hair is really
light. And you make
light.
a wine bottle that looks like a girl with funny hair?
It doesn't look like a girl. It's just the way that it starts from like dark to light or light to dark.
I'm probably not somebody who should talk.
No, I don't know. Actually, no, I even brought that up too. Well, now everything's loading. Look, ombre.
Ombre.
It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh,
yeah, it's kind of fun.
If you just said it looks like candy corn, I would have understood.
Well, it's not
it's
always.
It's a candy corn
it's
color.
Not always, but yeah, this is fun DIY stuff, and I get very overwhelmed with do-it-yourself projects because you make a mess, and it's just like it's gonna be hard. But these are step-by-step instructions that are designed to be fun, and actually that looks really awesome. And if I had done that at my last potluck, everybody would have made a big deal out of it. So that's the sort of effort I should put into my next potluck.
Now, is it all Brit, or do other people help out?
Oh yeah, there's a team.
There's
it's not
a team.
just a one
It's not
woman.
just Brit's,
no. It's I don't know how many people she has working there, a dozen or something.
Yeah.
What's your app cap, Leo?
Oh, let me tell you, I'm having some fun right now.
I can tell. You stopped listening to me 10 minutes ago.
I did. I had a job to do. We've got people. So do you like? I don't know if you like top-down adventure games.
Oh, you know me.
Command and Conquer, StarCraft, this kind of thing. People are big fans of Legion. This is Borderlands, Legion, and so what was it? Was it you, Chad, that was telling me about this, or we were talking about it on one of the shows?
Wow, that's really loud.
This is a really fun game, and it's actually consuming a lot of my attention right now. So just go ahead and finish the show without me, will you?
Okay.
So the idea is you've got characters. They all have special powers. They level up. They have assignments. They can shoot. They can do all that stuff. And it's really fun. It's $6.99. And a lot of people like this game on Steam. I think it's a Steam game, is it not, Chad? Very popular. And now I think it's actually a very nice port of this to the iPad.
Well, Borderlands is a first-person shooter. This is kind of like a
this
iPad
is a top-down version of it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So this
cool.
is made specifically for the iPad. So it's not just a really good port. It's more of a game that was made for it. Yeah.
Were we talking about it on this show?
I don't think it was me, but I know a little bit about it.
Yeah. Well,
We talked about it last week that it was coming out.
It was coming. Well, it's out, and it's fun. It really is fun. As you can see, I stink.
Well, you've only been playing it for like...
Well, because you were distracting me. It's not.
Oh,
it's
I'm
not
so
my
sorry.
fault.
I'm sorry. Was I distracting you
It's
by
kind of like Mass Effect
asking
for the
you to
iPad.
participate in the show? I am sorry. You know, that was very selfish. I'm not going to do that next week. or the week
iPad 46345 says, "How do you send us a picture? Snapchat."
Snap it. Yeah, we'll take a screen grab, and then Leo will show everybody.
You actually can't take a screen grab on Snapchat.
You can apparently on iOS, not on Android.
You can.
No, you can't on iOS either. I just tried.
Try it.
Damn.
Try it.
Yeah.
No, actually, don't try it.
It goes back to the menu. Like when you hit the thing, it goes back to the menu. So all you get a screen grab of is the menu.
That surprises me that an app can override something that's...
It's like it notices that it's going to do it, and then it goes to the menu.
It's like, oh my God, you're going to take a screenshot.
Yeah.
Stop, go away, get out.
No one knows what we're talking about because that was all before the show. It doesn't matter.
It's a program
about sexting, and we said we weren't going to talk about sexting.
That we weren't going to talk about.
So we're not going to talk about it.
We're not going to talk about
Snapchat. All right, that's it for this episode of iPad Today. One of the weirder ones in recent memory.
No, I don't think so.
I do, but that's great because weird keeps us young and honest.
And handsome.
And handsome. Look at this one. If there's anyone more handsome, I'd like to meet him. Join us next week.
I won't be here. Who's going to fill in next week?
It is, let me look at my handy-dandy calendar because I can't keep anything straight. Shannon Morse.
Snubs.
Yeah, Snubs.
That'll be fun.
Snubs is my co-host. I asked her, I said, do you have an iPad? Do you want to be on the show? And she's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's totally into it.
So
yeah.
I'm super excited.
Excellent.
And she works here now, so
she's one of us.
It's great. I know. One of us.
And then
Eileen Rivera is on the following week.
That'll be fun.
Yes.
She can talk about her Android phone.
And we're gonna dispel the myth that Android, all about Android and iPad today hate each other.
They're not incompatible.
Not even a little bit.
Not at all.
We are so simpatico. It's not even funny. Seriously, it's not funny. So, don't laugh.
Thank you, everybody. I will be back couple of 3 weeks.
You'll be back after Thanksgiving.
Tanned, rested, and fully bearded because I've decided not to shave. Should I grow a beard? What do you think?
Don't do it.
I get thumbs up, thumbs down.
No. Just be come back
Just be myself.
the way you left.
Just
okay?
the way I am.
Don't be some weird bearded
Don't
man.
go changing.
Don't.
To try and please me.
Don't go growing a beard on
But it's
your
Movember.
vacay. It's a mustache, not a beard.
Well, but I've been told the best way to grow a mustache is grow a beard and shave off the bottom part.
Well, do whatever you want. It's your damn vacation. Darn.
That
It's your darn
you think it would be
vacation.
a white beard?
I do.
Like Santa Claus?
Yeah, I think you might not look as young as you think you will with a big old beard. You're gonna look like that app. You
look like Santa
Christmas
Claus.
Santa.
I don't know. That
Thanks
might
for
be a
watching, everyone.
nice look for me.
I will see you next week.
I won't.
Bye.
Ow.